In this example, we will show dashboard integrated into the Quattro product. All of the menu items from the dashboard menu are reports that have been configured for the user. If we concentrate on the grid reports, which mean they output to a grid on the screen, we can focus on the straight panel list as an example. Here we can see the parameters on the first tab, standard filters on the second tab, where multiple selections can be made and included or excluded. If we then run this report, it will produce the output to a grid. The grid has a standard functionality that you'd expect from within a Key Systems product. We can resize columns. The right click functionality is also available. We can find, sort and sum columns. And we can also set up the grids and pick standard colours for foreground and background and selections, etc. We also have a very good tool which is called the breakout column, which takes any column of information and pivots it into separate sheets. As we can see here, we have illuminated and non-illuminated panels now broken into two separate Excel sheets. We can then decide to export these grids to Excel, where your standard data manipulation can be performed. If we go back to the dashboard menu, we can also see that rather than having grid output, we can have output to crystal reports, where we can have graphical representations of the data if required. We can also see that whilst the report has been produced, we can also change the parameters and filter or include extra data in a real-time fashion. So here I'm picking different databases and then including the top 10 media products by size rather than top 5, and then finally refreshing the report. Going back to the menu, we will now discuss how you can set up what we call one-click reporting so that users can have icons pinned to their desktop for standard reports. So we'll go back to the standard panel list report first. We'll then click the set up one-click report option, and we'll give it a title that we'll recognise later. We then decide whether parameters can be modified before or after the report has been run, or not modified at all. In this instance, we'll allow them to be run after the report. And then if we're using multiple databases, we can choose which databases can be used for the report. If we now go back to our dashboard menu and look at the options for the user, we can see that we have a number of reports that have been configured and any icons that have been associated to. Because we've created the new one-click report, we need to refresh the menu options for this user. If we now go back and view the reports available to the user, we can see that the new report is available and we can associate it to a desktop icon. Once we close the maintenance screen down, we can then see on the top left of the product that the one-click item has become available. If we now click that, it would run the report and produce the output that we'd expect. This report required parameters, but if we set relative dates, as in always run this year or run next year or run next month, then these reports can be run without having any user interaction on the parameters themselves. Again, I can then go back because we set that option and refresh the data and filter the data by the parameters that were originally defined in the report itself. We can then choose the pin icon to undock the report so it becomes a desktop icon, and users can just simply click the option from their desktop to run the report directly. There's a very quick overview of Ed for you. I hope it's been useful.